What if consciousness isn't something you have, but something that happens? Right now, as you're watching this video, a strange miracle is taking place. Electrochemical signals are firing inside your brain. Atoms are moving. Neurons are exchanging information. And somehow, from all of that, you are here. Not just reacting, not just processing, but experiencing. You feel time passing. You recognize yourself. You're aware that you're aware. But here's the uncomfortable question no one likes to sit with. How does raw matter, lifeless, unconscious matter, suddenly become experience? How does the universe wake up inside a human mind? This question has haunted philosophers, neuroscientists, and physicists for centuries. And the more we learn about the brain, the stranger consciousness becomes. So today, we're going deep. Not surface-level explanations, not motivational answers, but the real mystery. How does consciousness arise? The problem no one can solve. Let's start with something important. There is no scientific consensus on how consciousness forms. We understand a lot about the brain. We can map neural circuits. We can predict behavior. We can even stimulate specific regions and alter perception. But none of that explains why experience exists at all. This gap is so profound that philosophers gave it a name: the hard problem of consciousness. Here's what makes it hard. You can describe the brain in purely physical terms: electrical signals, chemical reactions, information processing. But none of those descriptions explain why red feels like red, or why pain hurts, or why thoughts feel like something instead of nothing. A robot could process information exactly like you do, but would it feel anything? That question alone shows how deep the mystery goes. Consciousness isn't just intelligence. It isn't just behavior. It's subjective experience. And subjectivity doesn't show up on brain scans. The brain as a biological machine. Most scientific explanations start with the brain. The human brain contains roughly 86 billion neurons. Each neuron can form thousands of connections. Together, they create an unimaginably complex network. From this perspective, consciousness is often explained as an emergent property, meaning no single neuron is conscious. But when enough neurons interact in the right way, consciousness emerges. Just like wetness emerges from water molecules, a storm emerges from air pressure and temperature. Consciousness, in this view, is what happens when information reaches a certain level of integration. Many neuroscientists argue that when the brain begins modeling itself, awareness appears. You don't just process the world, you process yourself processing the world. That recursive loop may be the foundation of consciousness. But here's the problem. Emergence explains how complexity arises. It doesn't explain why experience appears. A hurricane doesn't feel like anything. A galaxy doesn't feel like anything. So why should a brain? Information and awareness. Another major idea suggests that consciousness is tied to information itself. Not just data, but information that is integrated, unified, and irreducible. In this framework, a system becomes conscious when it processes information as a whole, cannot be reduced into independent parts, has internal causal relationships. The key idea here is that consciousness depends on how information is structured, not what it's made of. This shifts the question dramatically. Instead of asking, Is this made of neurons? We ask, does this system experience itself as one unified entity? That's a powerful idea, because it suggests consciousness might not be exclusive to humans. Animals, infants, and potentially artificial systems could possess different degrees of consciousness, not on or off, but on a spectrum. Still, the same question remains. Why does integrated information feel like anything at all? Why isn't it just dark inside? The illusion theory. Some thinkers take a more radical approach. They argue that consciousness, as we imagine it, doesn't actually exist. According to this view, what we call consciousness is a useful illusion created by the brain. The brain builds a simplified narrative. I am a self. I am experiencing the world. But underneath that story, there is only computation. No inner movie. No central observer. Just processes giving rise to the belief that experience exists. This theory tries to dissolve the mystery by denying it. But it runs into a massive problem. An illusion still requires someone to be fooled. If consciousness is an illusion, who is experiencing the illusion? You can't explain experience by pretending it isn't there. Consciousness and the self. One of the biggest misconceptions is that consciousness equals the self. In reality, these may be separate things. Neuroscience suggests that the self is a construction, memory, identity, narrative, social feedback. Your sense of being you is constantly updated and revised. This means consciousness might exist without a stable self. Think about deep meditation, psychedelic states, flow experiences. In those moments, the sense of I fades, but awareness remains. This suggests something profound. Consciousness may not be who you are. It may be the space in which who you are appears. Is consciousness fundamental? Some theories flip the entire question upside down. Instead of asking how consciousness emerges from matter, they ask, what if matter emerges from consciousness? In this view, consciousness is not a product of the universe. It's a basic feature of reality itself. Just like space, time, and energy, the brain doesn't create consciousness. It filters, shapes, or localizes it. Think of the brain like a radio. The radio doesn't generate music. It tunes into a signal. Damage the radio, and the music changes. But that doesn't mean the radio created the broadcast. This idea is controversial, but it explains something science struggles with. Why consciousness feels so irreducible. Why, no matter how deeply you analyze the brain, experience never disappears. Time, memory, and awareness. Consciousness is deeply tied to time. Without memory, awareness collapses into fragments. Patients with severe memory loss can still perceive, but their sense of self dissolves. This suggests consciousness is not just perception, but continuity, a thread that connects moments into a story. The brain constantly predicts the future, compares it to the present, and updates the past. Consciousness may arise from this constant negotiation between what was, what is, what might be. You are not just aware now. You are aware across time. Can machines become conscious? If consciousness arises from information processing, then an uncomfortable question follows. Could artificial systems become conscious? Not simulate consciousness, but actually experience. Some argue that no matter how advanced machines become, they will only ever imitate awareness. Others believe consciousness is substrate independent. If the structure is right, experience follows. This debate forces us to confront something deeper. We don't actually know what it is about us that makes experience happen. And until we do, we can't rule anything out. Why the question may never be solved. There's a possibility we don't like to admit. The human mind may not be capable of fully understanding consciousness. Just like a fish cannot understand water as a concept, we are immersed in awareness. Trying to explain consciousness using consciousness may be a logical loop. We are using the very thing we're trying to explain. That doesn't mean the question is meaningless. It means it may require new ways of thinking or entirely new frameworks. What this means for you? Regardless of which theory is correct, one fact remains undeniable. Your conscious experience is the most real thing you will ever know. Everything else, science, language, identity, appears within it. Understanding consciousness isn't just an academic exercise. It changes how you see suffering, identity, death, meaning. You are not a machine having experiences. You are experience itself, temporarily shaped into a human life. So how does consciousness arise? The honest answer is this: we don't know. But the mystery itself may be the point. The universe has produced a place where it can question its own existence, and that place is you. And maybe consciousness isn't something to be solved, but something to be lived.